Hi, my name is Ayinke. I am the creative director and founder of Ayinke. Ayinke is a streetwear brand that reinvents our local art textile, Adire, into beautiful, insane streetwear pieces. And this is my Live It Up interview with HIPTV, where entrepreneurs like me get to share their stories. Ayinke as a name is my own name, it's my own Yoruba Oriki name. And what Ayinke means in general is a girl child that you pick out of numerous children, and then you show so much care, attention, and love, and then you praise so much. And so that's what Ayinke really means. And so in translating it to the brand, I wanted the brand to feel more family, more home, more like something you have to cherish, something you have to praise. And that's how we had to like interpret the name to the brand name. The story and how we were able to be where we are today. Before we were even Ayinke, I just used to be a regular textile designer that usually designed fabrics for brands. But I realized that that wasn't what I wanted. And because the brands I was working with weren't translating the fabric into how I liked it or how I wanted it to be. Plus, when I looked into my peers and my clique, I realized that there was nobody wearing Adire. And when I mentioned the word Adire to them, they don't even know what it means. They don't even know how it even looks like in the first place. And we were young people, very young, that just want to wear streetwear pieces, and that's all. And then I thought about it and I'm like, no, we have to preserve this culture. We have to preserve this history that we have. And that was how I have to build a bridge between the streetwear world and also preserving our culture, heritage as Africans in general. Why it is inspired by African mothers is when you look back at the history of how Adire was born into Abeokuta, it was from a woman. And it was inspired by her. And then when you look at the history of Adire in other places, you realize that this trade, this skill were majorly for women and not for men. And so that is why it was inspired by them. It was inspired by the design, the hard work, the love, the care, and the support that they show for people. And that's why it is inspired by African mothers. Streetwear because that is my own style, that is my own swag, that is how I like to dress. I really do not like to dress so feminine. I like to dress masculine because I like men's clothes, to be very honest. And so I wanted something that is not also gender exclusive. I wanted something that is gender inclusive, that everybody would be able to wear regardless of your age, regardless of what you do for a living. I just want people to always wear pieces that are very comfortable, and streetwear pieces happen to be in that category. Is that everyday jean? Is that everyday t-shirt? Is that everyday tank top? Is that everyday thing that everybody would like to wear on a normal day without having to think twice? And that's why we had to choose streetwear. So for example, we have this hoodie. This hoodie is an everyday wear for anybody that, likes to wear hoodie. And hoodie is also essential because of the cold or whatever feat you just want to strike. The hoodie is just like a perfect thing. So we also have tank tops that is an everyday wear, and which is so cool for our weather because you can get to wear it and then you can still breathe properly while wearing this. So tank top, yeah, tank top. This is actually one of like our best selling pieces from last year up until now. We don't do a week without having to sell one tank top at least. Utility vest jacket. This is also a piece. It's not just anybody that would also wear the utility pieces, but like the people who know. And so, yeah, so utility jackets are one of like the statement streetwear pieces that is always so nice. When you throw it on a basic fit, it just elevates it. And then, yeah. We have them in shorts, and these shorts can go for any age range actually. So anybody can just wear it and then look super cool and nice. We also then have pants. This is our blue crack pants. This was from last year. Like the design, we've started the designs from last year, and then we just have few pieces of this remaining, and this is one of our best-selling designs and pants also. So yeah, you can see it's a combat pant. It has, I think, 8 pockets in general, so that it can serve all of the purpose of everything that you want to fix into it. So yeah, that's part of the things that we have going on. We source our fabrics locally from our regular fabric markets. For example, Yaba, Lagos Island, and every other places that they get to sell fabrics. And we also have fabric that we source all the way from Castina, that's in Funtua. It's a locally made cotton. We use that fabric for our shirts and mostly other things that we want to use when we want a fabric with lightweight that is not so heavy. So we source that also all the way from Castina in Funtua. And then local artisans, they play like a very huge role when it comes to like designing of the fabrics, that is dyeing of the fabric. And so we were able to like employ some of them to work with us here. My creative process is a very spontaneous process because everything around me gets to like inspire me in terms of coming up with designs, in terms of coming up with colors. And I also broaden my mind into different things that doesn't even relate with fabrics in the first place. I draw colors from paintings. I go and I visit art galleries, I go to events, I go to nature, I go to see nature, I go to the gardens, I go to the park, I travel, you know, and I take a lot of pictures of everything that I get to see. So when I want to come up with a design, I look through my file, I look through my Pinterest, I look through all of the pictures I've been able to gather from different places that I travel to, and I'm just able to pick up colors from different things, and that's just how I'm able to come up. And also I get to like research on trending styles and things that I also feel comfortable wearing, and that's how I come up with like with my creative process. And also fruits really inspires me. Fruits, plants, flowers, all of those things really inspires me, because we even have a biker shirt that is called a watermelon biker shirt. Is that interesting? This is a biker shirt. It's one of our best selling at the moment. Also the colors were gotten from watermelon, the green, the red, the orange. That was how we were able to get the color combination that we wanted for this one. And the style was from bikers, people who get to like wear tight clothes and all of that. And so that was how we were able to bring this up. And the stripes also, we just got it from somewhere. I saw a building that has stripes, and then I just wanted to also achieve this kind of stripes, and that's how this was born. There's a lot of challenges that we face with making these things with our hands. The challenges are endless, because this deals with human emotions, this deals with the nature, this deals with a whole lot of factors. In fact, with Adire, different textures of fabrics get to affect the color shade that you want exactly. If you line up different fabrics of different textures, if you dye them same color, they are going to come out differently. They will come out lighter, they will come out darker, they will come out, and it's just something you cannot do without. And that's part of the challenges, because when you have to do that with one particular fabric, and then that fabric is completely sold, maybe you make something out of it and then it is completely sold, now there's now more demand of it. You get to the market, you can't find that fabric anymore, and so when you try to get something close to that, it affects the color shade, affects how it would absorb dye and all of those things. So in that way, it gets to like affect how your productivity and how your creativity level would be, because you're always like, are you sure this is gonna go well or not? And then also it affects sales, because people want this but you can't give them. And in a way it's also good because it creates that scarcity. But when you look at the economic side of it, it doesn't really make sense, because this is what people want and you should be able to give them. But because of that cannot work. Sometimes the mood also, like, you know, affects how well you can work. Sometimes you can be very sad. It would affect how the work is going to come outside, you know. So there's just a whole lot of factors. Also inconsistency. If you dye one fabric now, if you dye this batch, if you dye the next one, there's no that consistency in how the designs would come out in all of them. So it's just like a major challenge. Plus it can also be a very slow process, because sometimes some designs would take like 3 days, 4 days to just produce. That's like 10 yards of fabrics, just depending on how intricate you want the designs to be. And people don't really get to value in this part of where we are. It's just recently people get to now, you know, value what we have and value the process. But before it wasn't always like this. People just wanted something cheap, something just to go off, but they don't understand how tedious or how intricate these processes are. And so that way it gets to like the value what you have going on, and then also you also have to match up with market standards. There's a whole lot of women. I went for mainland block party. I just saw that everybody that I knew were wearing my pieces. It was so nice. I felt so good, because prior to me getting to the event, I'd already seen people sending me pictures randomly that they